Welcome to the 2010 Tour de France. I'm Phil Liggett along with Paul Sherwen, and we are here in Rotterdam to kick off the tour with an 8 kilometers prologue time trial.
Quite right, Phil. And what a prologue this is going to be. Today's parkour is challenging and should suit riders like Spartacus, the Boss, and El Pistolero.
Yes. Fabulous Cancellara will be the favorite today, but what happened at the end of last year's Tour, Paul? The world time trial champion beaten in a time trial by a 124-pound climber? Something out of the ordinary for sure.
Well, you know, Phil, I think Alberto Contador rode that time trial to absolute perfection. And this is a great chance for him to prove he is still on form.
I wager Lance Armstrong will have something to say as well, Paul. He is here this year with a brand new squad, a new sponsor, and new ambitions for the top spot on the podium for a record 8th time.
That's right, Phil. However, last year Armstrong lost his impetus in the closing meters of that time trial. I'm sure he is hoping for a better feeling in the legs at today's start.
Well, all right then, Paul. Let's get to the action out on course. We are currently looking at Lance Armstrong out on course approaching the second time check. He is really flying, Paul. He's got his legs today.
Lance has a great position on the bike, Phil. He's got that big V8 cranking, and he is looking to come good today in the closing meters.
Wait a minute, Paul. What's happened there? It looks as though Greg LeMond has thrown a box of Trek vs. LeMond lawsuit papers onto the course. I've never seen anything like this before, Paul.
Armstrong is off the bike now, Phil. He's chasing LeMond through the spectators toward the VIP tents.
Is that Floyd Landis there, Paul? The one with the Jack Daniels bottle in his hand? Oh my word, Paul. Landis has hit LeMond across the head with a bottle of Jack. I've never seen this in all my days, Paul.
Well, I must tell you, Phil, that is the best attack I've seen from Landis in the last 2 seasons. Maybe now LeMond will stop whining?
Right. Let us hope so, Paul. Now let's get back out to the action on course. We currently have Contador approaching the first time check, and Bradley Wiggins has just set best time through the second time split, Paul.
I'm just listening to race radio, Phil, and it seems that Jonathan Vaughters and David Miller have been taken into custody by the Netherlands police for spray painting traitor on the Sky Team bus.
Unbelievable, Paul. They're all cracked. Cracked, I tell you. Armstrong has made his way back to the bike, Paul, and now we have word that he is chasing down El Pistolero.
I'm trying hard to see what that is on Contador's leg, Phil. It looks like a huge bruise. It is very large and swollen, Phil. Almost the size of an orange.
Let's call our special analyst Joe Papp, a former pro rider. Joe. Hello. What do you think that is on Alberto's leg? Paul, he is saying for certain that it is an EPO-damaged blood clot just like the one he had on his bum.
That can't possibly be true, Phil. Cyclists at this level have hundreds of blood tests per year. Contador is certainly riding clean, just like Armstrong.
Back on course now, Paul. We have the time check for Carlos Suster. He is currently 5 minutes behind the leaders, Paul.
Yes, Phil. There is a reason for that. It is because Mr. Clean, well, clean.
Radio Shack's Chris Horner is now on the starting ramp, Paul. He is sporting the newly UCI-approved training wheels. Hopefully, he will be able to stay upright through at least one race this season, Paul.
You know, Phil, Horner has exceptional form, but he has passed the magic age in cycling where all riders start falling down. 32 years old. Just ask Oscar Freire, Lance Armstrong, Andreas Cloden, Levi Leipheimer and Jens Voigt about it. I think those training wheels should be a requirement for all riders past that age, Phil.
I agree, Paul. This just in. Armstrong has now caught up with Alberto Contador. Contador is reaching out there for a bottle from the team car. But look at this now, Paul. Armstrong has stolen the bottle and has started beating Contador with it. They are all cracking mad, Paul. Cracking mad, I tell you. I've never seen the likes of this.
Actually, Phil, that beating by Armstrong is a perfect legal move in the individual time trial. He is not taking a bid on Paul, and he is not drafting off Contador either. Fantastic action, Phil. Fantastic.
Brad Wiggins is coming into the final straight now, Paul, and he still holds the best time. It looks as though the Brit has this one wrapped up.
Wait a moment, Phil. Isn't that Christian Van de Velde's father, John, holding that huge American flag up against the barrier?
Yes, it is Paul. He was inducted into the United States Bicycling Hall of Fame, you know. Good heavens, Paul. He has stuck that flag through Wiggins' front wheel. What next, Paul? I've never commentated on something like this in all my years at the Tour.
All this mayhem is leaving room for Sasta, Phil. Here comes Mr. Clean into the home stretch, and he has made up all of that lost time. He has timed this move to absolute perfection, Phil.
Yes, I must say it now, Paul. Sasta has come good today. Here comes Cadel Evans across the finish line, just seconds off the pace. Let's go down to Paul for an interview with Cadel.
Cardell, how was your race today? How did you feel out there on course? Cardell, stop crying, mate. Cardell.
Well, that concludes day 1 of the 2010 Tour de France. Thanks for joining us today. For Paul Sherwen, I'm Phil Liggett saying so long from Rotterdam.